There are rules to burying the dead. You find good earth. You face them toward the sun. You let them rest. But what happens when you bury someone in the most cursed, wretched soil on earth? They don't sleep. They wait. Our story begins with a wealthy Korean-American family hiding a terrifying secret. To the outside world, they are untouchable, but behind closed doors, they are being hunted. The patriarch of the family is hearing screams that no one else can hear. And worse, the family's newborn baby is dying of a mysterious illness that doctors cannot explain. Desperate, they hire two of the most powerful modern shamans in the world, the brilliant Hwa Rim and her heavily tattooed protege, Bong Gil. When Hwa Rim enters the hospital room and looks at the infant, she doesn't see a medical issue. She senses a dark, suffocating shadow hanging over the crib. It's a phenomenon known as the Graves Call. The baby isn't sick. An ancestor is screaming from the grave, demanding to be let out. To save the child, Hwa Rim knows they must exhume the ancestor's grave and burn the coffin. But she can't do it alone. She recruits Sangdok, a master geomancer who reads the energy of the earth, and Youngin, a veteran undertaker. Together, the four of them traveled to a remote mountain near the North Korean border to find the family's ancestral tomb. But as soon as they step foot on the mountain, the master geomancer freezes. The energy here is wrong. The soil is dead. Foxes, animals heavily associated with trickster spirits in Asian folklore, are swarming the area. Sangdok looks at the grave and realizes this isn't a place of rest, it's a prison. An unmarked grave facing the wrong direction, buried in the most inauspicious dirt possible. He tastes the soil, spits it out, and refuses the job. He tells them that if they dig up whatever is down there, they will all die. But Hwa Rim knows the baby won't survive the week. She proposes a dangerous compromise. She will perform a massive blood-soaked ritual to distract the spirits while the gravediggers pull the coffin out. The exhumation begins. Hwa Rim dances, smearing her face with soot and blood, entering a trance to blind the spirits. The workers dig furiously, eventually pulling a massive, rotting wooden coffin from the earth. They are strictly instructed not to open it. They must take it to a crematorium and burn it whole. But as fate would have it, a massive rainstorm hits. In Korean tradition, you cannot cremate a body in the rain or the soul will never reach the afterlife. They are forced to store the coffin in a local hospital morgue overnight. And this is where everything goes to hell. Back at the gravesite, a greedy worker, hearing rumors of buried treasure, decides to dig a little deeper. He finds something horrifying, a bizarre human-faced snake hiding in the dirt. Terrified, he slices it in half with his shovel. The moment the snake dies, the seal is broken. At the hospital manager's greed gets the better of him. He pries open the ancestor's coffin to look for gold. But he doesn't find treasure. A black, foul-smelling smoke erupts from the box. The grandfather is free. The grandfather's spirit is enraged. He wasn't just buried poorly, he was a traitor. During the Japanese occupation of Korea, he sold out his own people for wealth and power. As punishment, he was buried in that cursed ground. Now, he wants revenge on the descendants who left him there to rot. He doesn't walk, he manifests in reflections, in phone calls, and through locked doors. First, he visits his son in a luxury hotel room, possessing him and forcing him to end his own life. Then he travels across the ocean to America, slaughtering the rest of the bloodline. Hwa Rim and Bong Gil realize they are out of time. They rush to the hospital, hijack the coffin, and throw it into the incinerator. As the flames consume the wood, the grandfather's spirit, just seconds away from killing the newborn baby, burns to ashes and disappears. The family is saved. The curse is broken. Or so they thought. If this were a normal movie, it would end right here. But Exhuma holds a terrifying secret. The worker who killed the snake at the grave has fallen deathly ill. The geomancer, Sangduk, returns to the pit to find the dead snake to appease the spirits. But as he digs deeper into the mud, his shovel hits something solid. There is a second coffin. Buried directly underneath the grandfather, wrapped in barbed wire and standing completely vertical. It's impossibly heavy. They pull it out and bring it to a remote temple, realizing too late the horrific truth. The grandfather wasn't buried there by accident. His grave was a decoy. A Japanese dark monk named Gisune had buried the grandfather on top of this vertical coffin to hide it from the world. That night, the wire snaps. What steps out of the vertical coffin isn't a ghost. It is an oni, a monstrous 8-foot-tall, undead Japanese samurai merged with hot iron and burning with hatred. It slaughters the temple monks and nearly kills Bongil, leaving the young shaman possessed and clinging to life. They can't shoot it, they can't burn it, but Sangdok, the master of the earth, realizes the only way to defeat it is through the ancient laws of Feng Shui, the elements. The samurai is made of metal and fire. To defeat him, they must use water and wood. In a terrifying final showdown in the pouring rain, the samurai attacks. Sangdok, armed with a heavy wooden pickaxe soaked in his own sweat and blood, representing wet wood, strikes the creature. The clash of the opposing natural elements causes a massive explosive reaction. The ancient iron shatters. The samurai screams, turning to ash in the mud. The land is finally free. Our team survives, battered, traumatized, and bearing the scars of history. But as they take a group photo at a wedding weeks later, there is a lingering, uneasy feeling. They survived the grave, but some things dug up from the past never truly leave you. Thanks for watching Recap Channel. If you want more terrifying deep dives into horror's darkest corners, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to check out our next video. You won't want to miss it.